Okay, y'all. Second attempt at making a UFC predictions video. I'm going to pull up a Word document here to remind myself. Hopefully this one won't lag, but I'm going to put a much more detailed description on this one. But I really just wanted to get this out there just so I have a record of me making picks before the fight happens. So that being said, it's the 22nd of July, 10:17 p.m. Just had a long day, have a headache, no big deal. So, UFC Fight Night, Blaydes versus Aspinall. I'm going to talk about a couple people here. So, we're going to start out with Curtis Blaydes versus Aspinall. I'm giving Aspinall a 60% chance to win, Blaydes a 40% chance. So, Tom Aspinall, Blaydes, both of them extremely athletic heavyweights, both have just insane potential, or it's either unrealized or unknown potential. So, like on the Tom Aspinall side, we have like the best statistics of anybody in the UFC. Really, I mean, maybe not better than what Khamzat had, but for his first couple fights, but better than most. So the guy, he has a very positive striking differential. He lands way more hits per minute than he takes. He takes a very small amount. He lands a very high amount. He has 100% takedown defense. He has 100% takedown accuracy. He's never gone to the third round. He has finished all his fights. He's undefeated, and his fights have been won by subs and KOs. On top of that, the guy has beaten some pretty intense guys like Volkov, who is, everybody knows Volkov is a legit threat. I mean, Volkov, basically was about to beat Derek Lewis. He's always been right there at the very top. Um, and Aspinall made it look easy, like not like just ridiculously easy, just ran right through him. He's beat Arlovski, who's a different type of challenge. Like Arlovski's quite a gamer nowadays. He's old, but he's a certain level cannot get by that guy. Aspinall ran right through him. On top of that, the guy is big, but he's really fast. Like he's close to that heavyweight limit, but he's extremely fast for a heavyweight. He moves like maybe a middleweight. He's got that amazing takedown threat, but also those hands. Now, that's a lot of very positive intangibles. But here's the problem. So this guy, he is untested as it gets. I mean, we've never even seen him really get. I mean, we've seen him get hit, but we've never seen him get hit hard. We have no idea what happens. He seems like he has great cardio, especially for a heavyweight, but we don't know. We've never seen him go to a third round. Never really seen him have to break a sweat, really. Now, to be totally real, I think I would pick Aspinall today, not knowing any of that stuff, to beat Nagano, the champion. And I would just not. It wouldn't even be a hard pick. I would just pick him right now. But Blaydes isn't Nagano. Blaydes has a lot of weird challenges that I feel like present more of a problem for a guy like Aspinall, who's just super well rounded. It's going to maybe be harder to take him down. Um, Maybe be harder to stand with him. Like the balance there. I could just see Aspinall just running right in, taking Nagano down and subbing him. I mean, but nobody's going to do that to Blaydes. Like Blaydes is not going to get taken down and subbed. And if he does, then Aspinall is just going to be the heavyweight champ forever. I mean, like that'd be ridiculous. Now, speaking of how MMA math doesn't make any sense, um, on the Blaydes side, we've got a super athletic big dude also, wrestling phenom and super underrated striking. Now, there is that scary situation where he did get absolutely flatlined by Lewis, and that was probably the worst KO of the year, probably. One of the worst KOs ever. I'm pretty sure he was unconscious for multiple minutes. Not good stuff. But I personally think that kind of happened when he was beating Lewis on the feet handedly. But he went for his comfort zone. He went for that takedown. Lewis kind of makes it look like it's available, and that's his whole thing. Lewis kind of plays possum, and Blaydes was like, "I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm just going to go for the takedown." And Lewis had that timing, and that's what Lewis does. He has great timing, lays great traps, and it flatlined Blaydes. Um, but he came back and trusted in his striking, without even, you know, relying on the takedown threat to beat Dawkins. Now, granted, Diakiese probably should go down like 2 weight classes, but I mean, like, he's still a pretty good striker, and the fact that Blaydes outstruck him and took a hit from him is a good sign. I mean, if this was Blaydes' first fight after that brutal knockout, I wouldn't have the confidence in him that I have from watching him beat Diakiese. And the other thing that comes from that is Blaydes' striking has been just going up and up and up and up. I mean, you got to now at this point expect the guy, even a fast learner, you would expect to get to there. But every time we see Blaydes, he's gotten to like there. I mean, he's just growing at like a very quick rate, very athletic guy. So I mean, we can expect his striking, if it started here when he beat Diakiese, to probably be here. And the times he got knocked out against Ngannou, he didn't get flatlined, first of all, and I feel like those kind of came more from a superhuman strength side from Ngannou than any type of chin issue from Blaydes. And on top of that, Blaydes, the way that those kind of happened, like, I just don't, I mean, I feel like if Aspinall was powerful enough to land KOs like that in that kind of situation, that we would know that. Like, I mean, most people can't just land, like, not even at all flush blows and knock out Curtis Blaydes. So I just don't see that really as meaningful of anything. But still heavily leaning towards Aspinall here. But if it wasn't for those kind of abilities for Blaydes to make those big leaps and kind of this sort of dog backed against a wall kind of situation where he feels very underrated, he feels like he's being overlooked, he feels like we're using his name to jump Aspinall into stardom in England, where Aspinall's from, it's like, I get that, and you know, that makes Blaydes pretty dangerous. He's done really well as when he feels underrated and feels this way, and he's very driven. But I just kind of expect Aspinall to actually be as good as it seems like he's going to be. I mean, like, his potential's unlimited. We have no reason to think that it's not going to go as high as it looks like it's going to go. We have no reason to think, though, that it would either. I mean, like, we might have already seen the best of him, but there's no reason to think we haven't. And really, if he's as good as it looks like he is, he's just going to run through everybody. So I guess I'm going to sum this one up by saying 60% for Aspinall. That's my pick. And I think also if Aspinall, it's kind of like Khamzat versus Burns here. If Aspinall makes this look easy, he's the heavyweight champ, barring John Jones coming back and just having like one-hit knockout power or something, which could happen. We don't want to get too sidetracked, but I mean, imagine, you know, DC light heavyweight, no knockout power, heavyweight knockout power. Imagine what happens when you have 40 more pounds of muscle on John Jones. Like, you know, it might be, you know, 30, 40 more pounds at this point. He's taken 2 years off to just put on muscle. If he's anywhere near as fast as he was at light heavyweight, and he, you know, sacrifices a little bit of the reach advantage he used to have, but if he does that to add knockout power against much slower opponents, dude's a problem. And I mean, obviously he would run right through Gon, because Gon, you know, Ngannou out-wrestled Gon. I mean, like, what's John Jones going to do? And then same thing with Aspinall. But what would happen if Aspinall does run right through Blaydes and then Jones has knockout power? That's a crazy fight. So we will worry about that when the time comes. So the other, I guess that was the main one I really wanted to talk about on this one. I put some others in the description, but I just want to say real quick, Hermansson versus Chris Curtis. It's hard to really go too far on that one, since Chris Curtis is a late replacement for Darren Till. Darren Till seems to be very depressed right now. It's pretty sad. He's injured. He's pulled out of the corner even. He's just, all reports are that he's not in a good mental place. We hope you get better, Darren. You are the man. Please start posting funny stuff on Instagram again and get better, and you know, you'll be okay, brother. But Hermansson, you know, I just would guess he can take a shot from Chris Curtis, and I'm also semi-suspicious that Chris Curtis, as a late notice replacement, may not be in killer shape. I don't know if he had a fight scheduled soon or anything, but you would just think Hermansson can take a shot from him, get inside, probably a better grappler. But I'm going to give it 55 for Hermansson. I just don't feel that strongly with this late notice. So I mean, otherwise we'd look a little bit more closely at that. But it's just like I just don't think I just don't think there's any. This will be kind of how we see on how like prepared Chris Curtis stays, and and also how much Hermansson can react to the change. There's just too many X factors there. Paddy Pimblett versus Jordan Levitt. We have to talk about that because it's hilarious. So Paddy Pimblett, the love of England, the most like famous, like he's just a ball of fame. He's kind of I kind of personally have a slight gripe against him. I don't like how he acted with Ilia Topuria. I feel like the things he said were just ridiculously ignorant and uncalled for. But as he said, he's just a dumb guy, just talking, and that's what he does. He's just a loud, dumb guy, and he is totally happy to admit that, and it's true. So I've kind of personally forgiven that, but it was pretty lame. But Jordan Levitt, real weird. He's known for twerking after he wins. So this really funny thing happened where Jordan Levitt said he's going to twerk over Paddy Pimblett's unconscious body. So like this super famous English guy fighting in England that's just like draws so much attention and just giant applause from the crowd. If he gets twerked over by Jordan Levitt, like if Paddy Pimblett's unconscious body gets twerked over by Jordan Levitt in England, that will be the craziest thing ever. And it's like part of me, as much as I try to stay unbiased, part of me would just be like that we need to see that because it would just be like the craziest thing ever. I mean, they'd probably you could see I feel like you could see a riot over that. It's like the way that English fans are, like what's gonna happen when their fucking guy gets twerked over. But that being said, Paddy's response to that is if he wins, he's gonna do the like Call of Duty teabag to Jordan Levitt's unconscious body. Now, about this actual fight, I am not as knowledgeable about grappling as I am about striking, so that I don't really know what's gonna happen. I don't really have much prediction about what would happen on the ground. I feel like Paddy's a little bit more of a snappy finisher, and he uses a little bit more strength. Levitt is kind of sneaky, flexible, flowing, whereas Paddy is kind of like a wrecking ball in the grappling and striking. And I mean, kind of favor Paddy, but I don't know. So grappling, I'm gonna say it's a wash. Now striking, Paddy's an idiot. He first fight just goes running in there, gets cracked, but he ate it and just keeps running and just throwing bombs, and he got the knockout. I mean, like, and that's what he's done in Cage Warriors. I mean, that's just what this dude does. He's just gonna come running in, try to crack, and he does have knockout power, and he's got balls. And Jordan Levitt is an underrated striker. He's much better than it seems like people will give him credit for, and he's fairly fundamentally sound. But it just seems like the type of thing where Paddy would just run right through and probably knock him out. So if it stays on the feet, I kind of favor Paddy. So there's a chance for the teabag there. Grappling, like I said, I have no idea. So just because of that and the hometown advantage and how much Paddy thrives off that and his just kind of general level of confidence, I give him. I had him at 60. I guess I'm gonna keep him at 60. Paddy's at 60%. Paddy to win. Other notable picks, Krylov is an MFer. It's just hard to pick against that guy, but he's fighting Alexander Gustafsson. So, I mean, and just like, how close to retirement is Gustafsson? You know what I mean? And how well can he keep up with this next gen of fighter? I just kind of leaning towards, Gustafsson's on the tail end of his career. He's got a lot of experience, but Krylov is on his way up. I just got to go 55% with him. I can't even remember who Molly McCann is fighting, which is kind of messed up, but I remember that she's good. Who is it? Why can't I remember this? Molly McCann, Hannah Goldie. Hannah Goldie's good. I remember last time I saw her, and I remember thinking like she's pretty underrated and pretty awesome. And I'm sorry, Hannah Goldie, that I didn't remember you. And normally I think I would pick her to win, but Molly McCann, hometown advantage after that crazy spinning elbow knockout, like it's hard not to pick her. It's hard not to just get caught in that momentum and just overlook anything that Hannah Goldie can bring to the table. But that being said, I've only seen her fight once, and I barely remember it. Whereas Molly McCann, very memorable, even before the spinning knockout. I mean, she was actually getting kind of pieced up in the second round, but the first round she was on fire. And she's also extremely athletic. She's getting better quickly. She's very powerful, obviously. She can take a hit. She's not afraid to take a hit. She will push the action. I just don't see too many women in her division stopping her. So I'm definitely going with Molly McCann. Now, Paul Craig, Volkan Oezdemir. Paul Craig, I said it in his last fight, and I feel like I deserve credit for this, and I wish I had done videos back then. Paul Craig is ridiculously... I don't understand why he's not ranked higher. He beat Jamahal Hill. He beat Magomed Ankalaev, I'm pretty sure. Didn't he beat Magomed Ankalaev? That's ridiculous. And like how that dude, if he beats Anthony Smith, is gonna fight for the title, right? He also speaking of Nikita Krylov, he beat him. He beat Jamal Hill, he beat Nikita Krylov, he beat no, he didn't beat Ryan Smith. That got canceled. He beat Shogun. He beat some guy that I don't know. Yes, he did. He beat Ankalaev. This dude beat Ankalaev. Paul Craig beat a guy who, if he wins, he fights for the title. And he's not even that highly ranked. I don't understand. And Jamahal Hill. If you beat Jamahal Hill and you beat Ankalaev, why are you not top 5? Or more. That's just ridiculous. And he's on a winning streak. Nothing about this makes sense at all. It does not add up. It does not make sense. So that being said, Volkan Oezdemir is, that dude skyrocketed. I remember he was rushed into the UFC, and he's just getting knockouts, and then he got on the mic, and he's like, no time, I have to fight for the title, and he just run out of the octagon. Just ridiculous, super hilarious to me. Ended up getting skyrocketed with his no time attitude to the title, got just dominated, and has just had a rocky, career since then. Just vicious knockouts, been on the wrong end of that, just... he's got just brutally put out by the current champion, Yuri Prohaska. I mean, the dude is backed against the wall. Now, that being said, he has a lot of dog in him. So imagine a cornered, injured dog that you're trying to fight. It's a scary guy. And then Volkan's also way more fundamentally sound on the feet than he seems like he is. He seems like he's kind of a brawler, but he is not. He's actually pretty technical. He's very sneaky. He lays a lot of weird traps. He just makes it look like he's going to brawl, and then all of a sudden goes technical, and then counters. And it's pretty impressive, although he just keeps getting beat by, more impressive guys. But, on the feet, there's absolutely no reason to believe that Volkan Oezdemir would not piece Paul Craig up. Now, that being said, everybody else did too, and then they went down with him, and then he pulled a sub out of his hat in just some crazy last-minute, underdog sub. You would hope that Volkan Oezdemir is not stupid enough to jump into Paul Craig's guard after seeing all these other guys get finished by doing that. But Paul Craig's not afraid to pull guard either. So, I mean, if Paul can take a hit from Volkan, which, I mean, he took a hit from, Jamal Hill, seems it'd be hard not to pick Paul Craig. Way more momentum, but it's hard to pick against Volkan in that situation. I don't even want to give that a percentage. But I'm gonna just pick Paul Craig. And I feel like I was always picking Paul Craig for these last ones where they were upsets, and I hope this one where I feel like other people are picking Paul Craig doesn't break that momentum. So that's all the picks I'm going to make for this video. I have a um, written out version of this in the description, so thank you for coming to my channel.